What's up, everybody? Welcome to With All Due Respect, your podcast show for the GFW. I am your host, Kinda Real Nate. Thanks so much for being here with us today. And as always, I got my buddy Ebarb with me, and even a new guy, man. We got the new guy who's going to start trying to be on the podcast with us, Mr. I guess we go by Eflo. I don't know what to call you. It's like the most difficult name in the world.
Well, Wolf is my actual last name, so.
Then we're gonna go with Wolf. That works
Wolf,
for me.
Wolf's sounds easier, yeah.
Yeah. So this is the first ever time, in With All Due Respect history, that this is a live podcast with Mr. Ebarb sitting at the table with me. So this is a new way of doing it. He was down visiting, and we hung out all afternoon watching some Saints victory, and now we're gonna do a little podcast as we get ready for Wrestle War 2. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait for it to happen. But before we talk about that, we have to talk about Chaos number 48, the go-home show for Wrestle War number 2. Of course, Wrestle War was one of the pay-per-views that was part of the WWG, and we brought it back to be our last pay-per-view for the GFW every single season as things kind of wrap up towards the end here. Let's just kind of cover the card really quick, and then we can talk about it and dive right into it. Rufus, was this match changed? I think there was a couple matches that were changed, but was match 1 changed with the triple threat?
Oh, yeah, because we were small oversight.
We booked somebody with 2 characters.
And Jorge in the same match, and they're played by the same guy. So.
Yeah, what did we change this to?
We put Dustin in.
It was Dustin, that's right.
Yeah.
And so this was a triple threat that started it off. One of the most epic watering holes that we have ever done, and there has been some great ones, but we'll talk more about that. A watering hole that kind of unraveled pretty quickly. And look, to be honest, that's not what the original plan was, and it kind of was just an idea that spinned into this really epic role play that we had. Match number 2 was also changed. I think this was Uptown versus Tex, who made his way.
Dax.
No, Dax was not. Because Dax had to leave. No, it was. Yeah, you're right. It was Uptown versus Dax, but we changed it over to Tex. Then Taylor versus Aaron, and then the Club versus Wolf and Dustin, and then finally the main event, the Rookie Championship match, Basham versus Xander. The winner was going to move on to Wrestle War 2 to face Dustin for a combination of the 2 titles. And let's just jump right into it, man. This was one of the better cards that we've put out, even though, again, there's been so much stuff that's kind of happened. This was just like one of the more fuller cards that we had. One of the best. Ooh, let me go ahead and turn the volume down on that. One of the best watch parties that we've ever had. I think there was 8 of us that watched this all together. We had a little party chat going on in PlayStation Network, which actually a little foreshadowing gave me a great idea for the last With All Due Respect that we'll do for 2K18. We're actually going to do a watch party online with as many people as we can. We'll do it on PSN, and we'll just do it with all due respect as we actually watch the last pay-per-view all together. And I'm hearing rumblings about things that people have planned. It should be an epic, epic show, so I hope that everybody can make it. So what do you guys think about this show? We'll start off with Ebarb. What do you think about the show overall? What kind of stood out to you? Anything that caught you kind of by surprise?
Yeah, that triple threat match was amazing to me. There was this nice little transition in the middle where all 3 of them were in one corner, and it was like one move to one person, and then the next person hit a move, and then the next person hit a move, and it was just like beautiful.
Was this the super kick spot?
Yeah.
There was a super kick spot where they like traded kicks, and then all of a sudden them 2 tag team and super kick somebody, and it was by far the most epic spot I'd ever seen here.
Yeah, it was beautiful. And then next, we had the Tex come in and fight for Dax. I wish that he could have made his debut, but he didn't. It was a great match, and the watering hole segment was awesome. But yeah, all in all, I loved everything.
Wolf, what'd you think about this show? You were super involved, as you always are. I put you way over on the last podcast. I think I did by myself, but Wolf has been Ebarb. This whole thing wouldn't even exist without Ebarb. He and I used to play this game way back in the day. He's the one who got me into this. And then we took a little break, and I went off to the OCW for a little bit and learned a lot there. Really great people, probably the best in the business that does these kinds of shows. But then we had an idea to do an actual YouTube show. Got Ebarb to get back into it because he even took a break from it, and we really grew. And I feel like, Dustin and Ebarb helped me get this thing going, but I really feel like we took kind of that next step whenever Wolf joined the community and joined the league, and he's really helped us just take our production to another level. He helps me with the shows, and you're just a major region. So I'm gonna put you over once again. But now that I've got that head as big as I can possibly get it, what'd you think about the show overall? There was some fun role plays. The one that's up there right now with Luna and Wolf was one of the funner ones that I enjoyed writing. But what'd you think about the show overall, and any surprises that kind of caught you off guard?
Well, first of all, I do want to say I'm glad to be helping. You guys have made it's a really welcoming community, and I wanted to just help out as much as I could. And as far as the show, it's hard to pick out exactly what I liked the most because we did have that big watch party, so it made everything so much better,
a lot of energy from that.
We all had a good time watching it. Maybe I'm a little biased, but I did like teaming up with Saban. I don't know if you know, but I'm a Blake Saban fan.
Yeah, it was. That spot, that super kick spot, was just amazing. Again, that to me, I was part of the watch party, but also had a Madden game, and so I was kind of doing both at the same time, and probably not doing either one of them very well. But that super kick spot was the spot of the night for me, and stole the show. It just was. It was the spot that was oh, holy cow! Let's just end the show right there and bring this thing over to Wrestle Wars. I want to say for me, the watering hole was my favorite. Again, that started as a way to get one of my favorite newish characters, Emily, over and get her to. She's one of our only kind of face women that we have. And kind of have some ideas that I'd like to see happen in 2K19. But
she's good friends with Taylor, man. Taylor's really coming.
Oh, okay, there we go. Well,
the light side.
I'd love to add a woman to the club, and so that thing though really took off and became one of my favorite segments. And I think the surprise for the night, which is a catch-22 for me. All right, I'll let the kid out of the bag, but this is called With All Due Respect. This is definitely said with all due respect. But the main event was a letdown for me. I just have this thing. It's not good or bad. It's just my own personal opinion. I think championship matches should mean something. They should never be taken lightly. And I just don't like DQs in a championship match. It to me, it makes things mean a little bit less. The other thing, I got to get on Ebarb a little bit here. He's here in front of me. This Rufus roleplay when Tex roleplay, where Tex is going to go play in his truck, and then all of a sudden he's back in a match without no real explanation other than this 2-line roleplay with Dax, was super lame. You could tell there was very little effort put into that roleplay.
I will take that 100% because we had this whole thing planned out. And then I realized, oh, wait, I'm in a match. So I was done. And then I was like, okay, I've got to put something in here just to be like, oh, well, where did text come from? And so I asked Dax, I was like, do you want to go into this? And he's like, nah, man, you're good. I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to leave it alone then. So he's a new guy. And
he better come out with his hand wrapped in the pre-show.
Oh, he better, yeah. I mean, I broke his hand so he's got to come into it. But so far, he's a pretty cool guy, and I want to see what he does.
Yeah, look, again, I think my surprise was seeing the bat come out at the end of the main event, which is going to lead to a really good story for Wrestle War 2. But again, it's just a personal thing. There's just something about watching a championship match end in a DQ that just kind of loses a little something for me. But what do you guys think about how the main event ended and the story that we're kind of telling. And then again, I think, I'm not trying to nitpick because I think it's awesome. And everybody's working so hard. And even though we're a smaller group than we were, 6 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago, I think that people, men and women, because we do have some ladies here, are putting in so much hard work. But, like, if you're going to end it that way, then, like, Dustin should have came out with an entrance and, like, called them both out. Like, something, give me another ending than just wrapping up the show with whacking him with a bat and going off the air.
Actually, there was a miscommunication there. KO did have a role play for Basham explaining how they were going to get into that triple threat for the next night. That was going to be the closeout for the show.
Is that what he was saying that accidentally got left out?
Yeah, I think so.
He apparently was supposed to send it to Artshead before she sent it to me, and apparently he did not do that. So it got to me without the role play, because even at the watch party, he's like, all right, guys, now this is going to explain everything.
Yeah.
And I swear I could almost hear his jaw drop when the show just ended.
Yeah, I was like, I guess I got to just end the show this way.
Yeah.
Good show, though. And look, it's still 2 hours of content. And, 11 months ago, whenever we started the GFW back again, there was no way we were going to get, an hour's worth of content, much less 2 hours. And this was a regular, normal show, and we still had 2 hours of content. So everybody should pat themselves on the back. I love our shows, and people are watching. I know that, Wolf, you're showing buddies of yours that, we may be adding 2 or 3 new people for 19. There's 2 other guys in the community that love wrestling. And I was like, well, if you love wrestling, you got to watch this. I was like, you'll be entertained by it. And they're like, holy cow, I didn't even know you could play a league in WWE 2K. And I was like, yeah, you got to get the game. And so, like, there are people who are going to be joining us. There's some old faces that left that it would not shock me if they come back, right? I think that we are building something really unique here. And I don't know. I'm not saying they're not out there. I'm pretty sure they are. But I don't know many full-blown start to finish YouTube shows that you can pop in and watch from start to finish like a normal show that are not sim feds, right? Most of them are sim feds that take weeks, if not months, to put together. We do this every 10 days, and it's competition. And matter of fact, look, the other day we had some interesting conversations about the main event in the watch party, I think, Wolf. And you and I, and I think Ebarb's going to agree with this, think the same thing about this, but tell everybody kind of how you tell stories, but yet still stay competitive, because I think you said it in a really great way that everybody here should hear.
Putting me on the spot, I'm not actually sure what you mean.
All right, I'll do it. Don't worry about it. I'm not trying to put you on the spot. So we are a competitive league, right? And so we have rules, and I think that all the new people, even everybody, does a much better job than me and has made me try to up my game, tells great stories in the ring with their matches. And there is that line, right, between telling a really great story with a role play and with your match. Wolf, I think, does this the best. Look, Wolf is going to be champion here one day. I don't doubt that at all. He toys with me a lot of times, even in when we're just like doing dark matches or whatever. But Wolf does a great job of, even when he's dominating somebody, of still like letting a story be told. So there's that fine line between telling a story and then being straight up competitive, and like, how do you do that? And there is a little bit of a learning curve. Again, if you want to see how to do it, watch a Wolf match, because you'll learn how do you do that and still be dominant. But you play these matches competitively. Like, it is a competitive league first, and that's what we expect. When you play Cactus, I'm going to bring my very best A game. I don't bring my very best A game in dark matches because, like, I don't want to show all the things I got, and I'm just trying to work on my timing and my move set and, like, try some new things. That's what dark matches are for. Plus, they're just supposed to be for fun, right? But when we play competitive matches, I'm going to bring the best of what I've got, which is fun, right? Like, I've played Aiden with Captain and Aiden matches for the U.S. title, and I've been, like, cussing mad and wanting to throw remotes, and, like, every time he kicks out on, like, 2.5, I scream. And my wife's like, what's wrong with you, right? And, like, it's super competitive. You stay within the rules, but you play competitively. And then after the outcome, you then write whatever story you need to write. And so, again, if you want to learn how do I tell a good story in a match, watch a Wolf match. If you want to learn, like, how do I just, like, play within the rules but yet still try to win, watch an Aiden match, watch a Cactus match, right, from a pay-per-view. and then you write whatever the outcome of that. Then you write a story to go around that. And so if your story to begin with before the match is supposed to go with one outcome, but then you actually get the other outcome because you win the match or whatever it is that happens, then you write the story to go the other way. So yeah, that's kind of the discussion that I know that you were saying, but I want to see if you guys had any thoughts on that before we move on to the next card.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, bud.
You first. Well, I just wanted to give somebody props while you're talking about that. When I had my friend watching, I actually wonder if you guys can guess because it wasn't me, but he was actually very impressed with the way one of us plays the match and tells the story at the same time. Who do you guys think it was?
I'm going Dustin.
I would go with I to be honest, I have a hard time remembering everybody's character, but it's going to be either Xander or Basham, like one of those folks.
No, Ebarb got it. He was really impressed with Dustin, played by Pizza Roll. Like that night, Dustin did some really cool stuff, like doing a raising taunt and then running past them to do a backspring elbow off the ropes. Like it was very showy, but still effective, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So
like
it
there's
was really cool to watch.
There's so many different play styles, and that's what I love because we have all these different characters, but we play them differently. It's not like, oh, I play Tex the same way I play Aiden, and the same way I play Taylor.
Yeah, Captain and Cactus are played completely different.
Totally different. And Xander was saying that the other night, me and her played, and she's just like,
well, you even said, I don't want to cut you off, but like the one we're watching right now, Corgi and Blake.
Yeah, like they're amazing. But like she was just like, the flow he has, like your moves, they all flow together. I was like, that's what I wanted for him. And for Tex, I played just a brute suplex punching kind of guy, you know. So getting to watch all these different characters and the way they play and learning how to play them, it's awesome. I love watching it. Yeah.
And I think so. One of the things that kind of happened was, by the end of this show, everything was set up for Wrestle War 2. The original idea for Wrestle War 2 was going to be like a normal pay-per-view, but then Wolf had this great idea of doing like an elimination type style, like tornado tag or whatever they kind of call those things, where we actually pick teams. And so like the lead face Cactus and the lead heel Aiden and their two, fractions would each pick teams, and then those two teams would face off for the, quote unquote power at the Wrestle War pay-per-view of the GFW, and then the winning team would get a match of their choosing for the person of their choosing that they could use at any time in the new season. And then we've just kind of added to that. So the Intercontinental and Rookie Championships are going to be mixed into just one, the Intercontinental title. We've got too many titles now that we've shrunken a little bit. The Rookie title did what it was supposed to do. It was supposed to just pique some interest and get people involved, and it helped us get there. And then the main event is the one I'm most excited about because the women have really stole the show. But the main event is going to be the Women's Championship, which is going to be a fatal four-way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, that all got set up here at 48, and then the card for 49 came out. So the pre-show match is going to be Dax versus a new character to be announced. I think we're still figuring that out. And then a special Order to Chaos. Order to Chaos is an amazing, I don't know, I guess you could call it role play, but it's a show, but in written format that's done every Chaos that comes out. It's just really, really good. Captain's going to be on this next, and we're going to do a special one, and they're going to come out and do some stuff to kind of set up the main show. We're asking that those two things are done in daylight. So when you download the show and the arena, there's a daylight, an evening, and a night version. And so do those two things in the pre-show during the daylight. Match 1 and 2 is going to be done in the evening, and then 3 and 4 are going to be done at the night. We'll try to get a PM out to everybody, and you guys can help me kind of get that information out. But I think that would be the best way to kind of show a continuation throughout the day. match number 1 is our tag team titles are up in a triple threat tag team elimination chamber. We've never had one of those. I'm super excited about this. The Redneck Rampage are going to face the Hired Guns versus the War Boys. The War Boys have come out of nowhere to be a really good tag team here. What do you think, guys, are going to happen to that? It's going to be a really good one at Wrestle War.
You got both members of Redneck Rampage here.
Yeah.
I think we think Redneck Rampage is going to win, don't we?
Obviously. I mean, no one's come close to us.
I don't think anybody would come close to you guys, but I also know that there is some ulterior motive as we move into 19, as there may be some addition to characters and some disappearing of characters, and so I don't know. I don't think that the Guns will be able to deal with you guys, but the War Boys came out with a really big victory, I think 2 shows ago on 47, and so they showed some promise. And to be honest, the DMs I've done with those, like, they've just gotten really good. They've really been working on their game, and they've gotten really, really good by leaps and bounds. Those would be the guys that I think have an opportunity, but it's also a triple threat, and it's elimination chamber, and you just never know what's going to happen in those matches. And it's not always the best person that wins those matches. It's the smartest player that kind of does things at the right time, and then sometimes a little luck comes into order.
It might also be the last team in, because there's an entry order to it too. So one team's going to have the advantage right off the start there.
Yeah. Match 2 is going to be Xander, Basham, and Dustin, a triple threat for the U.S. and rookie, not the U.S., I'm sorry, that's right, that was the typo, the Intercontinental Championship and Rookie Championship unification match. This is going to be a good one. Dustin has been on a little bit of an up and down. Xander is my pick in that one. He's got the hottest hand, plus she's just like one of my favorite characters here, and she is bad at the sticks, and those two are going to have their hands full in that one.
Oh, 100%. So I'm going to make a prediction on that already, and I'm going to say Dustin's losing and Xander's going to win.
Yeah, that's my prediction.
I mean, that's what I'm going with.
2 for Xander. Oh, man, I don't know. I actually think I'll go with Dustin.
Really?
I think Dustin will retain.
You think he'll return after having a tag match and then going into a single?
Well, I mean, he can just lay on the outside of the ring and let his 2 opponents battle it out for a while. He'll have time to recover.
Yeah.
We've talked about this on some other shows, but I hope that people kind of put in some details, like the little details I always enjoy and pick up on. And, like, if you're in the tag match, then you probably shouldn't start the next match off at full health. You should probably start it off hurt a little bit. And Xander, he's going to be, and we'll talk about the match 3, he's going to be in that match, and probably should start that one off with a little bit less health. And that's going to be a little bit tougher because it's a tag match and elimination style. But that's going to bring us to match 3, Team Aiden versus Team Cactus. Cactus has Jack Thunder, Captain Alexander, and then Mr. Xander himself is going to come and be a part of the team, and Cactus is going to just kind of manage them from the outside. Should be a really good 3 versus 3 elimination tag team. Who's going to be on Team Aiden?
So Team Aiden is easy. We've got Wolf, because he's had this huge match and fight against Captain, and nobody likes Captain. And then Uptown Mike. Those are the 2. And for our third is obviously Aiden. And the reason being is because Aiden isn't going to hide on the outside of the ring like Cactus. You know, Cactus is the Brock Lesnar of our company. And Nate's got this huge smile right now, but he knows I'm right.
Hey, as long as I can,
when he feels like it.
As long as I can continue to hold on to that title for all of 2K18, I'm fine with it. So that's the big 3 versus 3 elimination tag team match. And the winner of that is going to get a shot of their choosing to call out, basically like a money in our version of a money in the bank type of situation. Then that'll bring us to our main event, something I've been looking. Yeah.
Sorry, no, it's this was actually one of the things I was looking forward to, because since you guys are almost the stars of this, it's Team Aiden versus Team Cactus. First off, you didn't even say who's on Team Cactus.
Yeah, I did. It's Xander, Captain, and then Jack Thunder.
My question was to both of you. I just wanted to know why you guys chose who you chose. Like, what was the thought process?
Yeah, so for me, it was pretty easy. There's not a ton of faces here. There's like a couple of tweeners and a whole bunch of heels, and then there's the club. I didn't want to put Cactus in it just because the title wasn't up, and I, I don't know. I think I shy away from always having him in every type of match, and so the other reason was because I didn't want both of my characters to be in the match. And to me, Captain had to be in the match because Wolf is going to be in the match. And there's just too much that's been building up between them two that is going to even, like, I love that storyline because it's just going to continue into 2K19. So that's why Cactus sat out. And I think, like, it also builds into the storyline of Aiden, saying he never fights and is not a fighting champion, all that fun stuff that's available there. And then I took Jack Thunder because he's part of the club. He'll have Captain's back, and he's one of the few faces. And then trying to find the closest face that I could in the men's division. Xander is a red-hot hand and somebody that I'm working on and would love to work with. And so, and somebody I think that is extremely good here. And it has, he's my pick to win that Intercontinental Championship against Dustin and Basham. So that's kind of the reason I took my 3.
Do you realize Xander has actually main evented 4 Chaoses in a row?
I haven't. That's a good point.
So what was actually, I guess he already explained the Team Aiden thought process.
Yeah, Team Aiden was simple.
The shorthand was he just chose everybody who was a jerk.
Yeah, basically, I want the meanest, toughest, the ones that I know that can get the job done, which is why I didn't pick anybody from the guns.
Yeah, I'm about to say, like, there's some tension there now because no guns were picked at all.
I'll be honest. I mean, they haven't done anything lately. They haven't.
There's a story that's playing out there.
I mean, it is what it is. Blake, I don't know if y'all have noticed, but he has adapted a finisher that looks like Aiden's. And I called him out on that. I was like, really? I was like, that's what you picked. And he's like, oh, I didn't realize that's what it looks like. I'm like, yeah, sure. So if you can't beat me, I guess imitate me.
Well, I think I called out, our U.S. champion on the last show. So if he even watched that podcast, then he would know I called Aiden out a little bit and called the hired guns out a little bit. But look, it's just so many good storylines there as we move into 19. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. And I'm just really looking forward to Wrestle War 2. And that brings us to the main event, the first ever Women's Championship. The second time the women, right, have main evented a card. And this has been building up for a while. I've said it on multiple podcasts now. The women have stole the show each and every time they've had a match. I know that, Wolf, you've put in a lot of work with your lady character and have kind of led the way in that women's division. But there are some really good players and some very, those matches are super fun to watch. By far the most enjoyable matches to watch, and that's why they're main eventing, Wrestle War 2. And it's going to be tough to, again, Fatal 4-Ways, you're never, there's so much that goes into who could win that. I think, my heart goes to Emily because she's just like a white meat baby face here. But look, you can't count out Erin. She's scrappy, she's creepy, and you just never know in a Fatal 4-Way of who's going to step up and make something happen.
Yeah, definitely. So the thing about it is you have basically 2 faces and 2 heels. Because Taylor, she's kind of...
She's a tweener.
She is, but she's trying. She's got Emily trying to help her. She's trying to learn. But you've also got last card where Taylor beat Erin. It wasn't a DQ. It wasn't a count out. She pinned her 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I mean that's the point. What do you see happening here, Wolf?
Well, I want to see Emily win, obviously, but I don't think you can count out Lilith either. She has that spear for a finisher, and that can just come out of nowhere and pin before anybody can get in the ring, you know?
And she's huge.
She got the speed, she got the power.
Who plays her?
KO.
KO.
Okay. So we have KO, Wolf, Ebarb, and Arksad. Whose name I can never say either. Arksad. That's going to be, to me, there's no better way to close out 2K18 than that women's title match. And again, this is our last pay-per-view for 18, so I'm really challenging people to put in the extra work with your not only your entrances. I know that Wolf has been putting a ton of work into his attire, but also I put in that work for your celebrations. If you win a championship, like, let's see an over-the-top celebration, because this is how we're going to close it out. And there'll probably be like a month, there'll be 4 to 6 weeks before we roll out another show, just because everybody's got to get the new game, which takes money. I know everybody here has been planning on it, and I think almost everybody said that they're going to have it pretty quickly.
I'll have it Friday.
But it's going to take time to build the arenas, the championships, everybody get their characters rebuilt. We need to test the game, see what's different. I know we have brand new attributes and all kinds of stuff that's going to be different. It's going to take us a couple weeks to get the game, get everything built. I know how long it takes me to build Cactus. We're talking hours. I think I have 4 hours in just his tattoos for his arms. And so it's going to take everybody time to build everything, and especially me. I'm going to be tapping Wolf to help me build some stuff, and Ebarb to help me build some stuff when it comes to arena and rings and uploads, and all of that stuff has to happen. And then we just need to play, right? Get the new feel for the game, because the game will play differently. Figure out what is the things that we need to look at or think about differently. Like this game, right? The camera views were different for every different character, so we had to think about camera views for tag team matches. The attributes this year went from 82 to 85 because some things were just different, and we just need to get the new game. That's all going to take some time. So because of that, let's go out with a bang and really leave it out there and leave it all on the floor, so to speak. We'll do some podcasts and all kinds of other stuff to keep people engaged. There'll be tons of dark matches. There'll be some excitement. But definitely there'll be a little bit of a break here as we continue to get ready for 2K19 and season number 5.
So, hey, Ebarb, are you going to use this time to move away from the default face for Texan?
Yeah, actually I will.
So. Wolf, I have to admit, I ventured into belt, I don't even know what you would call them, overlays or textures, where I got real cutouts of real belts and put in the time in Photoshop, uploaded them, and then made what I feel like are the coolest belts out there. But I've never done face textures, and so I know that you've messed with that, and I'm definitely gonna have to lean on somebody to. That's a whole new territory for me to figure out how to do face textures.
Wait, are you talking about the photo capture?
Yeah.
Because I've never done that.
Oh, so you just changed what you have available to change.
Yep, I just went through and edited the parts to make them look like me.
Yeah, that's what I do too. But I know there's face textures out there. I may venture into that a little bit this year. All right, boys. Let me give one last pitch. Closing thoughts. We'll wrap it up. I already got the stank eye from the wife. I'm sure Ebarb's wife is staring at him from across the room. We're ignoring both of them. I have my back turned to them, so I can't even see them. But Ebarb's got to stare at them from where we're sitting. Art of the Chaos. If you're not reading this, you're doing yourself a disfavor. We blast this out on Twitter. We bring this on all of our. I think I've got 7 or 8 different threads and different WWE forums advertising for our league and our shows. And this is one of the things that I blast out there. This is such a fun, good read, and I'm super I'm pumped that both of them will be at Wrestle War 2. I think that they are going to be 2 new characters that are starting to show up, and who knows, these guys might take over for Credence and for all the rest of these wrestlers, or these interviewers that we have here. And it looks like they could be the guy here, what was his name again? Hagen could be Hagen could be brothers with Satan. They look very similar, like a big manly man with lots and lots of hair. But Art of the Chaos, go read it, do yourself a favor, jump in there, and I'm super excited. So let's put a bow in the show, get your closing thoughts. We'll go with you, Ebarb. Give me closing thoughts as we get ready for Wrestle War 2. It's due next Friday. You can have a couple extra days if you need them, but by the time we get to next Friday, like the new game will be out like in a day or two. So people are going to be getting rid of the game. Put in the work, get it in soon, get us your stuff, but like don't rush through it. Like put in the extra effort. Closing thoughts, Ebarb.
First off, I'm just going to say everybody's been doing great, but on this one, go over the top. Do everything you can to go over the top. I don't care if Nate says he hates pyro or he hates all that.
You can have pyro at pay-per-views. I just don't like pyro at Chaos.
No, you have pyro at anything you want. But at this, go over the top. If they could do it, come out the rafters like Sting, but not Owen Hart. Do it.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if it's been too soon. I mean,
it hasn't been.
It's been a long time. I think we can have Owen Hart jokes from time to time.
But just go over the top with it. Come out, do what you got to do. Put your full heart into it. Go for titles. If you have a title match, don't wait. Don't try to make it look like, a 5-star match. If you get the win, go for it. Because it might be your only shot.
Yep, lots of good stuff. Wolf, put on some closing thoughts as we get ready for Wrestle War 2.
All right. Ditto.
Nice.
I'm kidding. No, for the show itself, I cannot tell you how much I'm looking forward to that Elimination Chamber tag match. Like, that was my brainchild, and I think it's going to have some really fun moments with some double teaming and chaos all over the ring and by the edge of the cage and stuff like that. And I'm really looking forward to that main event with the women's title, man.
Yeah,
and the team matches. Like we have a Survivor Series style team versus team match. Like that's going to be awesome too.
No, I think it's going to be great. I think that was a great idea that you had, and something that we will definitely have at the rest of our, rest of the Wrestle Wars that we host here. Now we got to kind of figure out the pay-per-view flow here. We've kind of done it a little backwards, where Wrestle Wars wraps up, but like our big like WrestleMania type event actually kicks off our season. So like that big like WrestleMania type event is what we call WrestleFest, and that'll kick off 19, be our first pay-per-view that we build toward. So we actually do it a little backwards. We end with Wrestle War, end with a war, and then we kick it off with our big WrestleMania one to kick off the season. But I'm super excited about that. Let me make one little push here. I did put it up on the screen. The club has a Twitter account. I know like Aiden has one. There's a couple of different calls that have a Twitter account that we kind of use to call each other out, so to speak, a little bit. If you're willing to put in the effort and the time, make sure to give Grown Folks OC a follow, the Gentlemen's Club a follow. We'll retweet all your stuff if you tag us in it. You can see some of the tweets that the club has been putting out. I always tag Grown Folks OC, that we can retweet that from the big account, the community account. But put in the work and let's check it out. Like I know that Basham has one. He put up there that he's got that championship up high. Really good looking stuff. And so put in the work and let's see it. And I can't wait to see what people come up from. The only thing that I'm a little down about is that I always enjoy putting all of this extra work into Cactus's pay-per-view entrance. It's something I take pride in, his attires and his entrance, and Cactus doesn't need an entrance. I have put in some work though for something for that big team event, so hopefully people will enjoy that. But a little down that Cactus isn't we don't get to see Cursed Cactus until 2K19, so that's a little depressing.
That was your own doing.
It was my own doing, but to me, storyline, it made sense. So
yes, to run away, that makes sense. It does. Do not put your title on the line.
Make sure you check us out at grownfolksoc.com. Check out our Sim eFed partners at True One Pro, and then of course our buddies over at the OCW, the OCWFed.com. One of the better sites that you'll see. You can follow us on YouTube, Grown Folks Wrestling, Grown Folks OC. Follow us on Twitter, Grown Folks OC. All those platforms, even on Twitch, Grown Folks OC on Twitch. So make sure you give us a follow, a like, and then we will be back for our big last, with all due respect, for 2K18 as we do a massive watch party with everybody included. We'll do that straight from PSN, so you won't see Ebarb or Wolf or my pretty face right here on this podcast. Instead, you'll hear all of us as we do the watch party together. It should be a really fun night that night. So for all the guys here on With All Due Respect, all the wrestlers and call in the GFW, thanks so much for watching the podcast. We'll see you next time. Have a great week. God bless. Peace.
See y'all.
Bye.